The best way to really get jump started is, and what we're helping some other clients do now, is really just going off of what's already been proven to work. And there's two pillars of that. One is what we call talking head videos. So that's where it's just like you're talking into the camera, right? We're all familiar with that. We see that all the time. And it's usually educational, inspirational, motivational, whatever. The second that not a lot of people are utilizing right now, and I think it's one of just the easiest and fastest ways to grow organically on social media, is reaction video content.
Welcome to Seven Figure Entrepreneur Podcast, the number one podcast for you behind the scenes with real online earners. No fake gurus here. And today we have the wonderful Logan. Fuck, how did I do that, man?
Logan.
Thanks. Yeah, I know that. You know what? Let's just leave that because it's fucking funny.
Yeah, you now
Logan Forsyth.
Yeah.
There you go. You know what? So guys, just to let you know, like before this, I was like, hey, how do you say your last name properly? Because I do it for every name just because I don't want to fuck it up. And I fucked it up on Logan. That's where I'm at. I've been like rushing all morning to get shit done. So yeah, here we are. My brain's freaking mush. But we're going to leave this in because I think it's funny and I don't care. So
I agree.
Here we are. We also have the wonderful Tyler Devin, as per usual. This guy he's his style has definitely progressed. Before it was just like blue Helly Hansen t-shirt, or not Helly Hansen, but like Under Armour t-shirts all the time. And now he's got collars and shit, looking like a real business owner. Look at the backdrop that he's had. Before, he didn't have any backdrop before. He was just like, wherever he would like post up, couch, chair, anything. Turned into a real businessman, Tyler. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Thanks, man. I come a long way. I still got this guy helping me out though. There's a good, good drinking story behind that guy sometime I got to share.
I like it, man. I like it. Well, Logan, welcome, buddy. Welcome.
Thank you.
I don't know too much about what you do, but I know that you came highly recommended from our buddy Rohan. Tyler's all hyped up to hear what you got to say. I'm hyped up to hear what you got to say. So yeah, let's kind of dig in and tell us who you are.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for the incredible intro. You know, anything slides.
I promise I will never fuck up your name again.
Yeah, it's your birthday. I'm just happy to be on a call with you. So what we do really, our company is media scaling, and our elevator pitch, if you will. So the problem we identified is pretty much all personal brands, podcasts, creators on social media are generating a small fraction of the reach that they could be from their organic content. So what we do in our main pitch is we work with top creators, personal brands, podcasts, and we guarantee up to 150 million views in the first 90 days working with us. And these are real quality organic views on social media.
That's insane, dude.
That's amazing.
The fact that you see that too, man, blows my mind. Rohan, when he was telling me about this, he's like, oh man, you should talk to Logan because this is what he's doing. I'm like, how the hell, dude? That's insane. Especially organic reach. Because that's a completely different type of user than a paid user.
Right. Yeah. And I can't take too much credit. It depends, like, to get that top level guarantee, we're working with top level creators, right? Who have already done the work for 5-10 years. Generally, they have an audience in 1 million plus across platforms. They've been creating long form content for generally a long period of time, right? And so we're just riding the wave that they've already created, but we're maximizing it. The way that we do it really is most long form creators, they do their long form video. It's 20 minutes to up to 4 hours, depending on the podcast. They'll post that out and then they'll take, let's just use an example of a 1 hour clip that they posted long form. They'll take that 1 hour clip and then they maybe have 3 or 4 short clips taken from it, posted out on their Instagram, their TikTok, their YouTube shorts. And sometimes they're on other platforms, sometimes they're not. And then that's it. Right. And then you move on to the next, And so you miss so much of like that initial long form content that you created. There's just so much gold in there. And the way that we really can guarantee this level of results is to break it down in 3 steps. One, we'll go in and we will repurpose, but also we work with people to improve their editing and their content creation even further. But we'll take all their long form content and then other content they have and repurpose it into thousands of short form clips with high quality edits too. Our edits are really good. We do daily trainings with our team constantly. We have a team currently of about 25-ish editors. A lot of them have done tens to hundreds of millions of views just like per editor. So we have a lot of incredible resources, trainings, and just a community that's leveling each other up. And so we do really good edits, and then we do that at high volume as well. So if someone's getting our top level 100 million, 150 million view guarantee in 90 days, we're generally placing a team of 8 editors on their account who are doing 3 to 4 edits a day per editor. And then multiplies out to where we're posting on their behalf about 4,500 times per month. And the way that we do that without overwhelming their audiences is we'll work with someone like we all know Tony Robbins. I'll use him as an example, right? But it's like we'll create a network of what we call secondary accounts that are still branded to each client. So it's like Tony Robbins clips, Tony Robbins reels, best of Tony Robbins fan page, so on and so forth. And then the top 5 short form platforms we're currently on that we've seen this strategy work the best is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Snapchat. Especially Snapchat is like almost nobody's on there. And it's just so underrated, so underutilized. There's over 400 million daily active users on their platform. And we've had accounts like go from scratch to like 90,000 plus in 4 months. Like we've grown. I think we have it's about 8 accounts that have grown close to 100,000 followers in 3 to 5 month period on Snapchat alone, so super underutilized. No one's really taking advantage of it. That's always just low hanging fruit. But those are the 5 platforms that we're on. So you can see how it multiplies out to where we're managing like 30 to 40 accounts per client. And then we're posting on these accounts 3 to 6 times per day. And so that's how we can hit these volume numbers of 4,500-ish posts per month. And generally the people that we work with, they've already built this huge audience, right? So they have a brand, they have a lot of recognition. They've already proven to go viral. They built the skill set and the production teams and the content teams and everything that's required to really do this at the maximum level. So again, there's a lot that we can go off of initially, but even so, they're generally posting anywhere between like 60 to 120 times per month. We'll come in and we'll do 4,500 posts per month, month 1, getting started. And so it's just the sheer level of volume mixed with quality. Again, like a lot of the time we're able to even improve the quality of people who have been doing this for 5-10 years, like improve the quality of their edits. We can like get into a lot of what we do from that side as well, if you want, but that's how we do what we do. And the way that I frame it to people as well is the reason TikTok is now the 4th largest social media platform with more than 1 billion daily active users. Not the only reason, but a huge reason is because their algorithm made it to where anyone could go viral regardless of following size, right? People would have 500 followers and go viral and then have a big following overnight. So it flooded their platform with creators. Since then, every other short form platform has followed suit. So now you can have that happen on Instagram. You can have it happen on Facebook, even YouTube, all the platforms, right? And so we have accounts constantly that have 100 followers, and then a video will pop off. It'll get 3 million views. Next thing you know, that account has 5,000, 10,000 followers, and it just snowballs from there. And so this process is exponential. It does start off a little bit slower. Like month 1 is really like slow going versus month 3, right? But generally we see that exponential takeoff like around month 2, month 3 period of really ramping this process up. But that's how we're able to create such large amount of views. And then every single post we create, every single account we create, they're all optimized to drive all this exposure and traffic back to their main socials. And so one of our client criteria as well is they need to be making at least 2 million plus in annual revenue to get one of these top level guarantees. And that shows us that they are dialed with their offers, their acquisition systems, however they're monetizing from their following. And so there's no reason that you wouldn't make a return from all this additional exposure and getting 100 million views in 90 days, especially if a lot of that's being funneled back to your main socials. So it's also an ROI driven investment. That's really the USP and the big pitch that we do.
I love it, man. It seems honestly like such a no brainer for people who have everything dialed in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
and I also think that the volume thing is huge, man. Cause like, I feel like you see people go into it and like, you've mentioned that the volume thing's the big part of it, but like you see people go into this and they're just like, you know what, we're going to do like 5 posts a week. We're going to do some short clips. We're going to do some, even if you got some cool edits and stuff like that. But I feel like in this day and age, everyone's kind of doing that shit. So you really need to like ramp it up. And I'm assuming that the volume game is just really what takes these people to the next level. So it's really cool to hear that, man. Cause like that makes, I imagine that makes the main difference in it.
It really is. It's crucial. I mean, again, if you are flooding the internet with shitty quality edits, then they're not going to go anywhere, right? So you still
Yeah.
have to have quality mixed with that volume, and it's difficult to pull off. That's why there's not a lot of people that are doing this. And it does generally take time to really like roll this out, optimize a little bit. That's why we focus on like a 3-month guarantee with this, because we know month 1 is going to be a little bit slower going. Month 2, month 3, that's when things really take off. But once you have this in place, you have like an ultimate competitive edge that very few other people have. You know, everyone has the ability to either learn the skill of paid ads themselves or go out and find a media buyer or agency. Anyone can run ads. Not anyone can do this and build this. So this gives you a competitive edge that it's hard to pull off, and very few people have it. So it's like that next level for these top creators who are already maximizing lead flow in a lot of different ways. It's just like that next thing to throw fuel on the fire and grow even faster. But as you said, the volume game is crucial. I mean, regardless of your opinion of him, Andrew Tate really did pioneer this method to large degree.
I'm going to say, man, and I know you and I chatted about this, but you're like, it's really like, this is how Andrew Tate got big, no?
Yeah. Andrew Tate went from being fairly unknown to the most Googled person on the planet in a 5-month period. And he did so because he built an army of affiliates who were creating these secondary accounts, posting content on his behalf. And they focused on driving and having like links in their bio to go to his program called The Real World at the time, I think it was. But that's how he literally became famous overnight, right? And became such, like everyone in the world knows Andrew Tate at this point. It's because of this strategy.
Yeah.
So really what we've done is the market awareness is there now too. Like because of what he did, everyone saw that, everyone understands it. And now all these top creators are like, they want to do it. They just don't know how. They don't know how to pull it off, or they just don't have the time, resources, whatever the case. And that's why
all that stuff, man.
It's time consuming. It's very time consuming. Like we even know from like the little posts that we do on our podcast, just finding the good clips to like pull out quality content and then do edits that don't look like shit. Like it's a full-time job.
Yeah, it is. And we have a full team in place. So if we're doing one of these top level packages, we'll place a team leader on your account. We generally have 2 social media managers to manage and create all the accounts. We'll have 7 to 8 editors. Then we have a clips coordinator to do what you're talking about. Our clips coordinator will go through and watch all their long form content and then timestamp each piece that we think be a good clip. That way it makes it much more efficient for editors to go in. They can do higher volume, because if the editors had to do all that sifting themselves all day, they wouldn't be able to do the level of volume that we do, like per editor as well. Then we have a virality engineer who we call it QA, but quality assure. Like they review every single piece of content before it is published. We're constantly training with them as well on what's working, what's not. And so they're just making the content better and better. And then finding like the easy stuff is the spelling mistakes, whatever, but it's really engineering the content to be more proven to go viral based on, like we're posting 12,000 plus times a month right now. So we get a ton of data. You know, we're seeing what's working, what's not, and then how it translates across client accounts in different industries and whatever the case. And so, you know, with all that data, we are always looking at, okay, what is working? Let's capitalize more on that. What's not working? Let's scrap that, right? It's the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
And we're extremely, extremely in depth with tracking as well. A lot of people are pretty impressed by our tracking dashboards and all the systems we have set up on the back end to really capitalize on this process, because we're guaranteeing views. So we have to, you know, be very adept on how we're tracking that and be able to prove like this is legit. These are real. These are not, there's no bots. There's no engagement groups, like none of that. Like this is legit. This is real views.
That's amazing, man. Do you ever have clients like cross promote each other at all?
So to a degree, it's pretty cool. Like we just went to live to market with media scaling in February of this year. And our first 2 clients were Greg O'Gallagher and Brandon Carter. They're both like fitness influencers in that space. And they're both friends. Like they have content together and know each other and stuff.
Greg was on the podcast one time before.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
He's
Greg's
awesome online.
Greg's the man. Yeah. He is extremely sharp. He knows how to really build a following, and incredible marketer, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously one of the OGs in the fitness space, but him and Brandon, it's fun because they
Agreed.
have
Yeah.
content together. So we'll even both of our teams will edit some of their content together, post it out. And sometimes we can, on these secondary accounts, repost content that's been posted on other accounts, and vice versa, comment and engage with each other. So there are some ways that we do that.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. One question I had percolating in my mind as we've been chatting, do you know how many views you guys have generated since February?
Since February, we haven't tracked that exact number. Total between myself and my partner prior to starting media scaling and then after media scaling, we're at a collective amount of it's like 1.67 billion is what
Wow.
we're currently at. Organic views, not paid
That's a
views.
lot of
Damn.
eyeballs, man.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So prior is I was working with Manny for years. My partner Spencer, he was working with at first Jason Capital. If you guys are familiar with him, and
Yeah,
he
dude,
really
Mhm.
nice. Yeah. So he was working
Did
with
you say Manny?
Manny Koshman. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah. That was my experience prior I was working with him and running his coaching e-learning company for about 2 years before moved on and started media scaling, which was obviously incredible experience. Learned so much from that process. That's how Tyler and I met
Yeah.
through Contrarian
Oh,
Academy.
nice.
Through real estate, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bringing people together.
That's it.
And is it. And then, Spencer was working with Jason Capital from the ground up when he had 30,000 followers on Instagram. And over the course of the following years, built them up to, they had a 6.6 million audience by the time he moved on, and then worked with Iman Gadzhi. So we had a lot of prior experience, working with large influencers in the space before starting media scaling, which is what has allowed us to really, kickstart this to a huge degree. And even though we're a new company, in a sense, is backed by a lot of experience, right? Now we're already a team of, it's 46, 47 people. And collectively we have 140 plus years of social media experience. Our team is great too. It's not just Spencer and I anymore. We have a lot of players on board who just continue to level it up.
Man, I think you found a really good niche and a really good offering in the marketplace. That's pretty badass what you put together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. My goal right now is just to maximize scale as much as possible, but not too fast to where we're very, very on top of, we don't want to scale too fast at the detriment of any one client's results, right? Retention, fulfillment are extremely important. But at the same time, we do want to continue to scale because there's such an opportunity right now. To my knowledge, I haven't come across any other agency who offers this service of building a full secondary network, much less backs it up by a guarantee. A lot of people will say the content agency space is very saturated. I disagree. Almost every content agency I know out there, they sell edits. We sell results, right? We guarantee views. We guarantee, sometimes we'll set up some rev share deals, and for us to get paid any type of upside, they have to break through their ceiling and literally make more money. And so we're selling results. We're not selling content, right? And that's a huge differentiator, and it just makes it such an easy sell. And it's a strong offer when you do that. So calling the market saturated is just not correct. You're just not getting creative.
That's all perspective, hey?
Yeah.
I love it. That's cool, man. That's awesome.
I think that they're there's tons of editors out there, man, that do that shit. But I think that actually with a full strategy and everything, it's pretty rare. I actually just jumped on a call with some guy, and he was pitching me a full strategy as well. So I don't know. That was the first time I've ever heard about it in this kind of space, growing that big, that fast. So it's definitely cool. Do you have a minimum amount of content that someone needs to have for them to jump on with you?
Yeah. So our client criteria up to this point has been 300,000 or more subscribers on YouTube, 2 million plus in annual revenue, and then just committed to continue to create long form content. That way they're not if they stop, then we're going to run dry. Right. Generally, if you have 300,000 or more subscribers on YouTube, outside of some rare outlier cases, you've been doing this for a long time. So you have a lot of content to go off of, and they're also very dialed generally at that point as well, to where they have a production team, content team in place. They have a consistent cadence of once a week, twice a week. They're putting out more long form content. So when that's the case, we're not going to run dry. What's also so beneficial for the secondary account network is it allows us to do a lot more testing that you normally wouldn't want to do on your main account, right? Like we can get away with a lot more. We do way more experiment posts, and we'll throw stuff against the wall. It's where we're like, I don't know, maybe this will work, maybe it won't. And we get surprised a lot of the time on stuff that it's like, probably not. And then it blows up. And then now that becomes more of a core part of our strategy, right? But a lot of experimental stuff that's not necessarily on brand, if you will, our clients wouldn't want to post it on their main socials at first to like experiment with it. So we can get away with a lot more on these secondary accounts as well, which allows us to continue to improve their strategy further also.
That's awesome, dude. I love it.
I think that point's pretty amazing, man, because like a lot of people are just mostly following what everyone else is doing. And we all know that like, even like we run ads pretty heavy. And we know that like, if you can come up with like your own unique content and just like put it out there, and even if you have no freaking clue what's going to happen, sometimes you find a winner and you blaze a trail in terms of like a type of content or ad that's working. Right. So I think that's huge. And also like, as long as you don't have any judgment towards it, and then the numbers don't lie. Right. So that's kind of the key metric to go off there. And if it works, it works. And who gives a shit? Because that's the whole point of this, is just getting the views or getting the sales or the leads or whatever it is you're trying to do.
Yeah, 100%. I will say though, so Rohan is a client that we brought on who didn't have like, he hasn't been doing this as long, like doesn't have as big audiences compared to other clients that we've worked with. But he already did have a lot of content ready to go. So we moved forward with it. He's been super happy with the service, and he has started to refer us over to more people who are entrepreneurs, 7-8 figure entrepreneurs, and they are creating content. They have a personal brand, but they're plateaued, right? Like they're not growing. A lot of people, especially in the marketing space, have bought like fake followers or done giveaway shout outs and stuff. And I would never do that.
The whole fake followers thing, when you see zero interactions on their posts, like any sort of credibility instantly gets diminished.
Right. Yeah. People see through it now. Like it worked maybe in 2016, 2017, but people see straight through it now. And not only that, but it hurts your account for a long period. Like it's hard to get out of that. Like it really is a stain on your record on your account once you do that, because your engagement drops significantly. And all these fake accounts, like they're constantly being deleted. And so your following count is constantly dropping. And obviously the algorithms don't like any type of gamification on their process. So every account really has like a health score in the eyes of an algorithm, and the health account will get penalized from doing stuff like that too. So it's not good at all. And a lot of people have done it. It requires a lot more of a lift to get out of that. So it is unfortunate when that has happened, and it's easier for us to grow people faster, really from scratch, versus if they have, 200, 500,000 followers, but they're all bought things or done with these giveaway camps. Just like some celebrity, like Kendall Jenner was giving away a Ferrari and everyone had to go follow her. Like, there's a lot of that too. But we have found a large need in that, and we can still work with people who are in that space as well. 7-8 figure entrepreneurs, they've been creating content, but they're plateaued. They're not growing. They've been trying, it's like biting the head. And really, there's, what's that Picasso quote? It's like, good artists create, great artists steal, something like that. Really, I think the best way to really get jump started is, and what we're helping some other clients do now, is really just going off of what's already been proven to work. And there's two pillars of that. One is what we call talking head videos. So that's where it's just like you're talking into the camera, right? We're all familiar with that. We see that all the time. And it's usually educational, inspirational, motivational, whatever. The second that not a lot of people are utilizing right now, and I think it's one of just the easiest and fastest ways to grow organically on social media, is reaction video content. Like, are you guys familiar with Ben Shapiro or Daily Wire, like that whole crew? It's what they're doing is crazy. Their views, their growth. Like socialblade.com is a great analytics tool. It allows you to plug in people's accounts on Instagram and YouTube and just see their subscriber growth, their follower growth, their view counts, etc. If you plug in like Ben Shapiro, like Brett Cooper especially, is an insane story. She started a little over 2 years ago, her YouTube channel, She's now at almost 4 million subs. Like she's growing
Wow.
260
Shit.
or like 400,000 subscribers a month on her platform. All she does is reaction videos. That's it. She's just doing reaction
Shit.
videos. And it's on like news and polarizing topics, etc. Why it works so well and what we're starting to capitalize on. I'm starting my personal brand finally in October, most likely will be the launch date. And this is going to be the way that I kickstart my brand as well, is you can go out there and I'm going to have VAs. We're already starting to do this for our clients. I'll do it for myself as well. But VAs can go across the platform and scrape and find a bunch of content that you can react to in your videos. And for my criteria, I don't want to react to any videos that haven't already gotten 5 million plus views, right? And that is like the hook on your content, the video that's already gotten 5 million plus views. Some of these have gotten 25 million, like 40 million views. And so it's gone insanely viral. And if that's in your content, putting you in pretty good chances to go insanely viral again. And then people like the reaction component because it makes it more of like a collaboration. Like you want to see people's take on it. And then you give your take, and then it opens up a medium to where everyone else wants to give their take as well, share their opinion. Next thing you know, the comments are its own forum section. Like reaction content works incredibly well. And it doesn't even, with our clients, we've had multiple of our clients put together reaction templates just because the big part of our USP, especially with larger creators, is we do this on autopilot for them. So they're already like dialed in, doing their content, and then we're just like running with this and maximizing it, right? So they'll put together reaction templates of like 7 videos wearing different shirts. Some of the they're just like looking on the phone. Some of it's like laughing. Some of it's like looking mad, whatever. It's different emotions. And then we'll have our editors just find cool videos that are going viral and put these reaction templates where they're not saying anything. They're just like looking at the video, nodding along. And oh my gosh, it gets millions of views so consistently. It's crazy. So it's just reaction content in general. It's pretty nuts right now. It's so untapped. And I think it's just
shit, dude. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
Is there rules around that? Like can I just jack anyone's content and do that? Or like, can they come after me and tell me to like cease and desist, take it down?
No, because it's your unique content. Like if you are adding your own editing on top of it, it's like, look at Daily Wire. They're a great example. Most people on Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro's company. By the way, he's printing, making like 10 million plus. Like, from all of his
shit.
Yeah, Daily Wire. He's making
just
like 10
views and shit.
Daily Wire. It's like a $10 per month subscription of like the news platform. It's more conservative leaning. It's like they're more political. But and all their creators, not all of them, but a lot of them, they're just doing reaction content on like the front end of social media. And it's more so like what's happening in the news right now, right? Because the news is always.
This is why I love the internet, man. That's insane.
Yeah, it really is. It's crazy. So long story short, going back, like you are not, if you don't have a huge following yet, then reverse engineer what other people have done that's already been extremely successful. A lot of people make the mistake. They just sit down and like maybe this will be a good idea. And maybe this will work, etc. We provide our clients with, we have probably somewhere between 20 to 40 really proven hook frameworks. The first 3 seconds of the video are by far the most important. You have to hook the viewer in to want to watch the rest of the video. And you do this, it's like in science, it's just proven frameworks that have proven to work. You don't want to start your video and just start talking about whatever it is that you think you should be talking about instead of using a hook framework. Like if you're a guy in your 20s, these are the top 3 mistakes that people make when picking up chicks at bars. Like if you're a guy in your 20s, you're not going to want to watch the rest of that video. If you're like single and you're trying to go out there and like, find girls. Versus a lot of people are like, so I was at a bar, but they didn't start going into it, whatever. It's like, no, you already lost, right? So you need proven hook frameworks and then combine that with content that's already proven to go crazy viral. And so we do that with reaction content. And then also we just do remixes to where if you don't want to react to every video, you can also still go out and find those videos that have gone viral and gotten at least 1 million plus views, 5 million plus is better. And then you can just make that same content with the same message, but put it into your own words and add like your own spin on it, right? I'm not advocating to just word for word, like put their script in a teleprompter and read it out, but make it your own and still utilize the proven success of what worked in that piece of content in the first place, right? Like overall, the messaging, if there's a hook that really, like, you should use the hook word for word and then make that rest of the video your own, add your own take to it. And you're still putting yourself, now you're not just guessing, maybe this will work, maybe it won't. You're putting yourself in a much better standing of this content has been proven to work very well already. So let me use more of this. And that's going to be my strategy. Right. And that's going to help you grow so much faster. Just no one does it. Everyone sits down and just starts talking about whatever it is they think comes to their mind.
Dude, I love it, man. I could only imagine the value of the data that you've been like kind of putting together and how it like shortcut people if they knew this stuff. Are you, do you ever plan to put together a course like teaching people how to do this, or what's your thought on that?
So, that is where we're at, because just like transparently, it's extremely hard to scale our model as fast as I would like to, right? Because I mean, we launched in February. We already have a team of almost 50 people. Like, to double our business, we have to double our labor, because the volume that we do, it requires a ton of editors, and then it requires managers for those editors to manage all these accounts. It requires social media managers. And right now we don't use any software for the most part, as far as like scheduling post out, and AI. Maybe in 2-3 years, there'll be up to parts where AI can make great edits, but all the editing AI softwares right now to like make short form edits, they suck. So we don't use any of that. And then social media platforms don't like it when you use all these third-party schedulers like Hootsuite and Buffer and these platforms, because you always want to put yourself in the shoe of the platforms itself. And they want people on their platform, engaging, looking at other accounts, like watching more content, because therefore they're going to watch more ads, which is how the social media platforms make more money. So if you're scheduling these posts out on Hootsuite, Buffer, whatever, then they know that, and you're just avoiding even getting on the platform in the first place. Like, they penalize behavior or content. So everything that we do is like fully native in platform. It requires a lot of labor. Therefore, it's hard to scale. So my big thing is, like, I know how to market to tens of thousands of leads per month. And we literally could not, like, there's no way that we could fulfill on that. We already have a waiting list that's building up for a service, because it's like, we can't onboard too many people at once and want to be strategic about this. So we just joined a mastermind, and the part of it is one-on-one calls with the person who runs it. And we had a call with him earlier this week. I was like going through this in my mind. It's like, what can we do to, scale this, like mass scale? I think about the story of Alex Hermosi going from having his own gym locations and launching 6 gyms and doing so successfully, but barely making money. And then he transitioned from doing that to gym launch, teaching gym owners how to do this themselves, and went from being broke to making 2 million plus a month within 2 years. Like, what's that scalable offer here? And then our mentor said, you guys need to do a licensing model, to where you literally, you license this out, you package it all together, and you teach other people how to do this. And that's how we can scale so much faster. So that is something that the seed has just been planted. We are going to be working on that to roll that out, but I really see that as a way to get to the next level and continue to scale this so much further, because it's a grind, man. Like, to double our business, we're going to go from 50 to 100 employees, and a lot is going to break. And like, there's a lot that goes into that, unforeseen. And like, you have to step back and dial things in again, and bring in more leadership. And so you can't just do that stuff overnight. Long-winded answer. We are going to look into rolling out a licensing model for this to teach other people how to do it, really consult through the process, and put together all the materials to just replicate this out.
That's cool, man.
Good for you, man. Congrats.
Yeah, that's dope. Do you mind me asking who your mentor is?
Taylor Welch.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Like that guy. He was also on our podcast.
He was. Nice. Yeah. We just joined his like highest tier mastermind wealthy consultant, and it comes with a lot of one-on-ones with him, which is the biggest reason why I want to join. Taylor's a beast. He's super sharp. I think he has portfolio companies worth like 70 million. Our first call with him was a few days ago, and just took away so much value immediately. So
awesome.
already paid for itself.
Yeah, his story, man, is really cool.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Wasn't he a pastor?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. I could have never pictured that.
Wait, what is he
Yeah.
was a pastor?
Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
Right?
I see
Yeah.
that. He's really well spoken, eloquent with his words, and just a great teacher. Good at, getting people
Yeah.
motivated, and that's what pastors do. So I can see it.
Man,
Love
this whole time you're talking, all I'm thinking about is just like ads. So like as UGC and all that style video are popular, we do the same thing for our majority of the ads that we run on Facebook or TikTok or whatever, right? Because that's just like the platform or the style. Even YouTube short ads have really taken off. And just like as you're like giving off all these tips, all I'm thinking is like, I hope people watch this podcast and just like use this for the ads that they create. Because like for us, doing as you know, like hooks make all the difference, scroll stoppers make all the difference. And that can take an ad from being like a shit ad to like insanely profitable. So
Right.
I was also thinking like another business model you guys could do is just partner with like a media buy team, man, and just crank out creatives for them. Because like, dude, some of these guys are putting up like $60,000-$70,000 days profit on
Yeah.
this kind of stuff, right? And it's the key element of that is a creative. I often say that you could be a shit media buyer with a great creative, and that alone will make you successful, you know? So creative is king, as you know, I'm sure.
100%. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's interesting for sure. There's so many ways to take this. It's like
Yeah,
so many shiny objects with this model alone, and it's like
Absolutely, man.
agreed. Yeah, that's the thing, right?
take a good route. But yeah, that is smart and totally,
Yeah,
totally.
I don't know what your pricing is. Like I have somewhat of an idea, just based loosely on conversations with Rohan. But like one thing I thought about right away, I imagine it's kind of like a 5-figure model a month, depending on the tier and stuff.
It has been and still is, but we have been constantly like iterating and seeing how can we make this even more of a win-win. And we are testing out now, and we feel confident to back this up to where we're just going fully performance based. And
Oh,
the way that that's going to
I was
work
excited.
is, yeah, we're setting up more like rev share deals on the upside of the average baseline for the previous 3 months. Right. So we'll work with
Nice.
someone. It's like, you've been at this level for the previous 3 months. Let's say it's 500,000 a month. We only get paid upside on additional revenue you make above that. So we literally have to make you more money. Like we're incentivized
Cool.
to break you through your ceiling. And for us to get started with this process, we just take a draw against the future upside. But then now it's like a pre-credit, right? Just for us to
Wow.
be able to operate the team and get this going. But it's fully
yeah.
performance based on our pricing. So that's something that we're leaning further into and rolling out more of to make it just more of a win-win. Like we want this to be a no-brainer with everyone. And then
Yeah.
it depends as well. What has been extremely interesting that we just learned about fairly recently is on Snapchat. All these business owners, influencers, personal brands, they make money from their business for the most part, and like YouTube ad rev and the ad revenue for TikTok and whatever is like minuscule compared to the money that they're making from their businesses and their offers. That's not the case with a lot of podcasts and just more influencers out there. Podcasts, they're fully reliant on ad revenue for the most part. They generally have Patreon. And then all of them have merch, but none of them are really making money from their merch. Even like the
Yeah.
big one have, hundreds of thousands to million plus followers. And what's been extremely interesting is Snapchat is doing a big push for their platform to where they're doing a 50-50 rev share split with creators on all the
Wow.
ad revenue that comes from their platform. And so they have two, what they're calling programs rolling out of creator programs and show programs. And the creator programs is more so focused on like public figures and celebrities. And then it's like all these business influencers, I think even Grant Cardone and Ed Milet, these guys would have a tough time getting approved for that. More so like the big bloggers and literally like mainstream celebrities, actors, type stuff. But the show program is extremely interesting because that is fully podcast focused for the most part. And what show clips, they're 3 to 7 minute clips. They're still highly edited. similar to like what you see on TikTok and Instagram Reels. Long story short, they have about 40,000 subscribers right now on their show, and they're making good money, like multiple 5 figures per month just from that small subscriber basis. And
Wow.
a lot of the podcasts that we've been partnering with, they have close to 1 million followers or sometimes more. But even at that level, from like YouTube is usually the top ad revenue source, and then TikTok is pretty minuscule. Like other platforms are pretty minuscule. They're generally making like $10,000-$15,000 a month. So with Snapchat and these new incentives, we can come in. We have a contact to now get people approved as the show program. So a lot of people don't even have this set up because there's a gatekeeping behind it. Like you have to know the right doors to get open to even be approved for this. So now we're working on being able to get a lot more of these podcast creators approved for the show program on Snapchat. And then, like I said, we can just tear it up on growth on that platform.
Yeah.
Like so many accounts to 100,000
Dude,
subscribers
that's amazing.
in like 4 to 5 month period, to where now this becomes by far the largest source of income for these podcasts. And then we're doing all of this fully performance based as well. So it's like, it's just all upside for them.
Dude,
and
that's so cool.
we've been looking for a great offer with a lot of upside with podcasts. And it's just been hard to find because, they're not making money on the back end with the business like all these business influencers are. Like this is the route that we're really leaning into, leveraging on it. It's really exciting. A lot of these podcasters, again, we had a call earlier this week with someone across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. In the past 90 days, they did 540 million views on just their main socials.
Wow.
Like crazy. And these guys, they're still working full-time jobs. Like they haven't even quit because they're barely making money. It's like they're making, it's 2 of them, and they're making like about 10,000 a month. And it's like inconsistent. And so they're still working a full-time job, and they're doing 540 million views in 90 days. Like crazy. Like the Super Bowl does 98 million views. And that's assuming that everyone's watching it all at the same time, which doesn't happen. And all these advertisers are paying $6-7 million for a 30-second placement on that. Like, the fact that these guys are still working full-time jobs just blew my mind. And so Snapchat,
but that's just like,
for that. It's all, I know what you're getting into,
but I just feel like that at that point, like, man, you just don't know how to monetize your shit, like, so
yeah.
One of my best friends, he has a massive YouTube channel, and just like, he is so good at like pulling out rev out of every freaking corner of that thing. So yeah, I don't know. I guess if you don't know what you don't know, right? Like,
For sure.
Yeah, I totally agree, but you would be surprised. It's like, this is majority of big podcasts because they don't want to sell to their audience. They don't want to feel like pushy and be like a sellout. That's their number one concern. And so they don't know the proper ways and mediums to avoid that happening. And they're creators. They're entertainers and creators. They're not business people.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like the doctor scenario. It's where a lot of doctors think that selling is like, it's gross. Like you shouldn't do it, but you have to do it to have like a really successful practice. So it's a dichotomy that's in the podcast, like entertainer space as well.
So interesting, man.
Yeah.
Dude, but it's so cool. Like the way I think you're positioned, man. I think you have so many avenues and your upside's going to be enormous. I even think too, like if we're advertising on Facebook, like what's a CPM, Gabe? $70?
I think that's like peak, right? But I think that like you're more running around like 30 to 40, 20 good days,
Got it. 'Cause I just saw the import product numbers and they're a bit higher, but regardless, like,
they are.
you think about kind of what you're offering with people. It's like, it's almost like pennies on the dollar in comparison.
It's funny you mentioned that because when we first went to market, the way we price our service, again, we always like are wanting to be like performance based. We charge $1 CPMs. That was our model. It's like you only pay for the views we generate, and we charge $1 CPMs. It's like we would ask them, like, look at your ads. Like, what are you paying for ads right now? And usually it's like somewhere between $20 and $70 with a lot of variables, right? And it's not like the CPM costs on ads. There's a use case for both, right? Because those are more highly likely ads buyers versus like every single view that we're getting on our platform. So it's like a yin and yang. But what we can do also is just create massive, massive custom audiences for you that then you have like insane ROAS numbers when you're retargeting with your own offers on ads as well. So they work really
Dude,
well in conjunction with
just the
each other. Like,
retargeting is insane.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 If you're running our model with ad, well, the ad costs go significantly down. Like it performs incredibly well.
Yeah.
That's a no.
As everyone knows too, like warm audiences are just like the way to go, right? Like I think that like if you could say I could do what I do all day and just like sell to people who actually want it, like I would do it over and over again versus the cold traffic thing, you know? So there's just so much more benefit to having people who know you, recognize you, want to buy stuff from you. So
Yeah,
Dude, let's talk about sales numbers, man. Like, and we don't need to go in specifics, but I imagine the clients that you brought on, they've seen huge spikes that they can directly attribute to sales.
yeah. So we need to do a better job, really, of like getting real time tracking clarification on that. But they do see returns, ROIs. Our flagship case study was with Iman Ghazi, and after rolling out this system, obviously we never want to take full credit, right? Because everyone has dialed in systems and teams, and they're running ads as well, and like have some type of events. Maybe they're doing a webinar or whatever the case, right? So like with Iman, he capitalized on this and did a big webinar event 3 to 4 months after the system started with him. But it resulted in a 340% increase in monthly cash collected within the first 4 months. And this was not a small starting number, right? It was like, it was a big increase. And then same thing with our other clients. They're generally seeing increases, like Iman is our top level, right? They're generally seeing increases between like 50% to 350%, somewhere in the range. We don't want to tell people like, we can't guarantee that because so much of it is outside of our control. But if you know what you're doing, you're gonna make a return on this.
I mean, yeah, if you have a good system, all you're doing is pouring gasoline on it, so the whole thing makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what's funny, man, is the guy who pitched me on like the Instagram growth for our podcast. He also used Iman as a case study.
Oh, really? What did he say about it?
Yeah. He was just saying that he was like building sub accounts for him and stuff. And then he was, I forget the exact numbers, man, but he did like this whole pitch, but he wasn't very good at it. It was quite a bad pitch.
What probably happened is, so my partner Spencer, like how Media Scanner really came to be was Spencer worked internally to build this system for Iman. And Iman was like, I want to run the Andrew Tate strategy in-house. And Spencer built this division. Like he didn't have it, like this was Spencer, he built the whole model. And at their peak, they hired up to a team of 70 editors at one point. And then from there, they, just there's a lot of bloat, so they cut it all back down. So long story short, there's been a ton of short form editors that have like worked with Iman for a period of time, and maybe they're not working with him anymore. And a lot of them have gone out, and Iman teaches people how to start their agency. So there are a lot of short form editors who maybe worked on his team for even a couple of weeks or a month, and then went out and started their own agency and are probably leveraging that as something that they have experience with. But because they're,
I'm sure this guy was out of like South Africa or something, and he was pretty average at the sales pitch. So anyway,
Iman does everything internal. So I'm sure he probably, I'd be willing to bet he worked underneath Spencer. Spencer probably hired him.
Probably. Yeah. Cool. Very cool, man.
That's freaking awesome, dude. Well, I'm definitely excited for you where your business is going. I know you talked a lot about like people who have certain criteria, but what about people with like new accounts, man? Like, if it makes sense, you take them on? And if not, like what kind of advice would you have for them to at least get the ball rolling?
Yeah. Great question. For new accounts, it depends. Like we did just sign a deal. We'll be launching with him in 3.5 weeks from now, likely. Who is starting from scratch, but it's because the potential is just major. So when it makes sense, it's got to be like the right person who already has done some pretty incredible things. Because we have a waiting list, and like we have to be strategic about who we are and are not working with.
Double the prices, man.
Yeah. But regardless, like the advice standpoint on if you are looking to get started, I would do exactly what I mentioned earlier in the episode of go out there, whether it's you or you have a VA, and put together a list, like create a Google sheet and go out and find a bunch of content that has gone really, really viral. My recommendation would be start with reaction content. Or if you want to do a 50-50 mix of reaction and talking head videos, but reaction needs to be in that mix because that's going to be an easy way there's a skill of being behind camera and like getting the comfort levels to really be able to capitalize and like build more of a brand. And I think also reaction content makes it easier to, go viral without necessarily having that skill up front. And then you build it in the meantime, as you're doing more of this type of content. So utilize reaction content. You got to find yourself a good editor as well. And just know what makes a good edit. What that looks like is we follow something called the 2-second rule. We want something like visually engaging happening on the screen every 2 seconds as a minimum. You can do this with a lot of people make a mistake of editors will put like 2 sentences of words on a screen at a time to where it's like you're looking at like 8-10 words. Our editors will do max 4 words, but usually it's like 1 to 3 words a screen at a time. So you have words that are constantly like popping out, keeping you engaged. We do a lot of zoom effects in and out, and then really full screen B-roll. Keep it incredibly engaging. We use a lot of celebrities, we've had extreme success with videos going really viral because the first 2 seconds is a hook with the full screen B-roll of a celebrity doing something or a famous like movie scene. We use a lot of movie scenes, TV shows. A lot of editors make the mistake of just using stock footage all the time. Like no stock footage, like 99% of the time, not nearly as good versus if you're using really famous movie scenes and celebrities and even TV scenes, etc. I would say a really, really great example. The best short form content I've seen that he's been a big inspiration for us as well is Julian Dory. He creates, it's like a conspiracy type of podcast. He has guests come on that like talking about aliens and guests from the CIA talking about like whistleblowers and like the nuke systems. And his views are nuts. If you go to his YouTube channel, he has a bunch of shorts that have gotten like 20 million views.
I love this shit.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. But look at his edits. It's like the content is good, but his edits are incredible, and it keeps you. The term for it is hypnotic. Like we want people to be hypnotized when they see our edits. Like you literally get like hypnotized in to continue watching through the full thing. And after you watch it once, you want to watch it another time. The more replays your edits get, the more the algorithm boosts it as well. So Julie Dory is a great example to give you a visual of like, this is the standard of what you should want your content to get to. And then of course, from the reaction side, look at Brett Cooper, look at Ben Shapiro. They're the kings of king and queens, but they're like top of the game of reaction content. So emulate that for your editing style for reaction videos.
Man, Logan, you're a savage, dude. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for popping on. I think you've dropped a ton of knowledge bombs here today.
Yeah, it's been great.
Like, I'm actually writing down notes just for myself, man.
So am I.
Think about it, remember this, and that doesn't really happen that often, man. So thank you for taking the time and joining us today. I know our listeners are going to love this.
No, thank you guys for having me on. I mean, I was excited to see you reach out, and questions have been awesome. It's been a pleasure, talking with both of you, and then Gabe, especially up and on your birthday. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Thanks, man. You know what? There's no place I'd rather be besides learning some shit, man. So I love this stuff. That's why we do this, dude. Legit, this podcast makes us like $200 a month at most. I don't even think we look, but like, it's just for like the relationships and learning and like, that's why we do it, man. 'Cause it's so much fun.
This whole thing was based on being a like authentic voice in the marketplace of like people that actually know what the fuck they're doing. And that also gives us the courtesy to swear, so that's cool too. But bottom line, we've learned so much. The people that listen to this learn so much. It's been like one of those things where it's been super rewarding just to do it. So it's been pretty cool. But man, thank you again for joining us today. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. How can people reach out to you if they need to, man?
Oh yeah.
So again, we've been framing ourselves like the hidden secret of the personal brand podcast space. Because Spencer and myself neither have a personal brand that we've like really set up yet. So that will be coming, looking at October this year for my personal brand to start. So socials, I'm not super active yet, but Logan Forsyth regardless, for the company, check out mediascaling.com is where you want to go. And then we have media scaling across all socials as well, but the website's the best resource.
Or if you want to see Logan on jets on PJs, man, that's definitely check out his personal Instagram.
I love it. We need more PJs in our life. All right. Thank you for everyone listening today. For everyone watching, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube. And for everyone listening, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, or Stitcher. All those things. All right, guys. Thank you again. Appreciate it. See you on the next one.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Later.